Hello everyone and welcome to Motorsport Manager. I've seen some larger YouTubers play it, like Elysium and Quill18, and well, it triggered an itch in me that's like, yeah, this is a management game. Not a racing game, but a racing team management game. You don't actually drive yourself, but you can tell them like, hey, you need to be this aggressive, that sort of thing, you manage the finances and all that sort of thing. And it just kind of tickled my fancy, and I've been playing a lot of it right now, so I figured I'd start uploading it, you know. Start off in the bottom tier, maybe create a custom team, take us up to at least the second tier, because, you know, they don't really have the license for, like, the official, like, F1 titles in the game, so all the teams here are fake. There are mods and stuff for that, but we're going to be using those. Anyway, we're going to be doing a new career, and we'll be making ourselves a custom team. We'll be playing with tutorials off, and I'll be trying to do my best to explain things as we go. We'll keep the session length to a minimum. The session length basically depends how long each race is going to be. I'm going to keep it medium for the sake of videos. I would do short, but short kind of feels a bit too easy to cheese. It's also a lot more unpredictable. We're going to be using the euros as a currency symbol, mostly because I live in Europe, so euros are my familiar currency. And we'll be going with the date format. We'll be keeping autosaves on. There are mods here, like real sponsors, the ice mod, things that change a lot of things, you know. You can get a bonus sponsor for around $1 billion, but we're going to do that. That's cheating. I don't have any mods on, so this is going to be completely vanilla. Alright. First name, Derp. Second name, Digital. Date of birth. It's going to be the 16th of September 1995. We're a nice young dude. Will be white. I like that hairstyle with... facial hair seems alright. And I have glasses, so there we go. And of course I am Dutch, for those of you who didn't know. From the Netherlands. There we go. Derpdigital. Backstory. This is the only really important thing. Well, except finding your, you know, date of birth. If your date of birth is very, long ago, it means you're gonna be less long in the career, but, you know. Anyway, backstory. There's a couple of the different ones to choose from. You could be an unknown. You could be a fan of motorsport. Like, yeah, I want to run a team. Cool. You don't get any bonuses. Or you could be an ex-driver, you know, you used to drive, so you know how to set up a car better, and you can help your drivers improve. Or you could be an ex-engineer, and help your engineers figure out how to build a part a little bit faster. Which is good, but... Finances. Everything happens with money. Having 5% more money is a good thing, but we're not going to be rolling with that. Politico. You can vote on things. This helps you vote. I don't care. We're going to be going with the ex-driver because it helps our drivers get better. And we get more driver feedback, which helps us tune the car while racing. Which is pretty cool. We'll be creating our own team in the European Racing League. So this is basically the different tiers. You've got Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, etc. You know. Each tier you drop down, there's going to be less prize money, there's going to be less TV audience, so there's going to be less fans, just less money at the end of the season. In the European Racing Series, each season has 10 races and 10 different teams. You can see everyone's kind of crap, whereas in Tier 1, there's going to be more races and people have better stuff. Car specifications also slightly differ. For example, the European Racing League has 2 parts spec'd. This basically means you cannot do any work on front and rear wings. Whereas the Asia Pacific Cup has spec engines, and the World Motorship Championship doesn't have anything like that. There's also GT, which is, you know, a lot different. You have a different car, there's some different mechanics in play that can actually find their way into the Formula Series. But yeah, we're just going to be playing the European Racing Series. We'll start from the bottom, quite literally. and we'll see if we can get our own custom team to promote to Tier 2. So we will be Derpdigital Racing. We will be situated out of Europe again, a Dutch team. Logo design. You can have a fancy logo. It's pretty neat, honestly. I think we'll go for this one, style 11. And we'll take that color blue because it's a nice light color blue with a bit of white. I like that. Team uniform. You can dress people up. I'm just gonna go with, I think this is alright. I'm not gonna put too much thought into that. You know, it's only a team uniform. Car livery, on the other hand, is how your car is going to look. You'll be looking at this all season, and it's gonna cost you like $500,000 to replace if the season is ongoing. So do try to pick something that you actually enjoy. We'll be going with the primary color of blue because, well, it would be weird to not have that featured somewhere, you know? As for liveries, I don't know, I think we might go for 4. With a weird mix of like blue and white and stuff going on. But I kind of like it. And we're not going to spend too much on that because, well, honestly, this doesn't look half bad. We'll just go with that. Have you finished editing your team? Yes, I have. Now we get to choose between different investment offers. They all offer different things, and they have different expectations of you. They all want to start funding a new racing team. So we've got Root Investment on the left over here. They offer a 3-star chassis in the first season, and a small starting financial package, which basically means 5 million and a car that is very good for the first season. After the first season, you will have to design a new chassis, and their bonus is completely gone. And that kind of sucks. We've got Stonewall Bank, medium pressure. Pressure basically means how demanding they are that you meet your targets. So for example, at the start of the season, you will have to set a target, basically saying, oh yeah, I think I'll end at 5th. And if you don't end at 5th, you might be in trouble, depending on your relation with the chairman. So yeah, going for the high pressure. I've not actually tried it, and I don't think we will today. Stonewall Bank, on the other hand, as medium, gives us a medium financial starting package that is 10 million euros and 40% team marketability. They have a PR studio, which basically means it's going to be easier for us to find higher sponsors. Sponsors are going to be dishing out all the money. So having team marketability high is good. There's basically 3 different factors that depend on that sponsors basically depend on 3 factors. There's your 2 main drivers and your team marketability. So having team marketability at 40% already gives you like a standard rating of like 10%. We'll get into that later. Anyway, Golden Tiger Bank over here would give us a large starting financial package. That's 15 million euros, so we could build more stuff. And they also give us a pre-built test track, which is basically a very expensive building that costs a lot of money and does also have an upkeep cost per race, sadly. So I'm gonna go with Stonewall Bank. There we go. The game crashed. Okay, and we're back. Let's try that again. Stonewall Bank, I will take you up on your offer. There we go, that's better. So now we can actually start getting this team up and going. It's going to be amazing. You know, as soon as this is done loading. There we go, we're saving. So, here we are. We are a Derpdigital Racing in the European Racing Series. We've got Anthony Gomez and Faith Anthony as our drivers. We can see a comparison of everything in the league here. For our current championship, we are 10th rating for car in this cup currently, or in this championship. Our drivers are actually rated 7th. They're not the worst drivers ever in the world, which is good. Our headquarters, is terrible, but we are positioned 7th because, well, a lot of people have just as terrible headquarters. Our staff, awful. Our sponsors, we have none. Not right now. They will come in soon though, don't worry. I've got some plans for that. Our current chairman's happiness is... Our job is secure, you know, they're happy enough with us. Which is good. You want them to keep happy with you, you know. That way, if you might not make your target, they'll still keep you around. Check out our player here. We've got some stats here. I'm not really sure what these do. Your race management stat increases when you do well in races and decreases when you perform poorly. You could switch jobs with other people, but I don't want to. Financial stat increases when you're in the black, decreases when you're in the red. And loyalty will increase over time, will decrease when you fire staff or change jobs. Again, not really too bothered by that. Here we've got our emails. And this is our chairman, Thomas Winthrop. Derp, you didn't just think you'd be handed the reins without any oversight, did you? Your investors have asked me to keep an eye on how things are progressing. I'll be acting as your chairman. And I have the powers to remove you from your job if things aren't, shall we say, going to plan. Anyway, I look forward to working with you. Rest assured, there is plenty to do. Thomas. Then we have an email from Lyron Ippel. Not really a Dutch name, but okay. I was hoping for some Dutch people to be in here, but yeah. Hi Derp. First of all, can I just say that I'm amazingly excited to be your assistant here. This wonderful new venture. Just saying that I work for Derpdigital Racing gives me immense pleasure, I can assure you. God, what a suck-up. I mean, I'd hire someone to be a suck-up, sure. That's, if we're gonna hire someone, we might as well have one of those around. I'll be around to update you with everything from around the team. For now, it might be an idea to start signing some sponsorship deals and looking around for some driving talent. Anyway, thanks for the opportunity. Let's make Derpdigital Racing the best team in the world. Let's start with the current championship, alright mate? No need to get overly excited. We got an important email here by Thomas. Derp, the first order of business is to lay down our targets for the year. The corresponding budget that you set will have to last you all year. So be careful with your spending. So what you're saying is give it all... Spend it all in one place, alright. We need to build the team up completely from scratch. Frankly, we have temporary staff and drivers, no sponsors, a weak car, and shoddy headquarters. Not much to do then. With this in mind, where do you think we can hope to finish by the end of the season? We could be defeatist and be like, yeah, I think we can do 10th. You know, we can always make 10th. Because, you know, that means if we overperform, he's going to be happy. If we underperform, well, we can't really. But I'm going to shoot for the stars. I'm going to tell him, hey man, we're going to be 8th. We're going to beat 2 teams in this season. Because I've got plans. I've played this game a bit. I think I know roughly what to do. And I think we can make 8th. If everything goes right. And that will also mean we get nearly 3 million more euros. And we need that money. That's good money. And last but not least, we have a scouting report from our head scout. Derp, I'd like to present my initial report of the state of the team. Take a deep breath. Our drivers are awful. Our designer is awful. Our mechanics are awful. You need to get hiring. Fast. You know where to find me. That's our scout. He can check out people for us. That's good. Let's check out the car with our lovely livery over here. There's currently no sponsors on it. And we can see our specific car stats over here. We've got the spec parts over here. Those are barred out. Basically, everyone has the equal part. And nobody is going to have any advantage over there. But we do have the top speed, acceleration, deceleration, and medium speed corners. That's our suspension. We are all ranked 10th. Because we suck. Here's the the chassis stars. These basically indicate how good your car is at tire wear, fuel efficiency, tire heating, improvability. Basically, the higher these are, and if you get into the top like third of the group, you will get a slight bonus. If you land in the lower end of the pool, so basically like the lower third, you will get like a 25% penalty. So for example, your fuel efficiency will go down, your tires will heat up faster, and improvability just makes it easier to make good parts. So yeah, we're gonna start saving up for a better car at some point. But we can design parts here, we can fit parts, we can improve parts. We get a bunch of stock parts, because of course we do start with a car. And we can sort by driver, so we can see what they have equipped. And you can see their maximum stats here. Performance means how good they are. To give you an indicator, these start at pretty much nothing. The other teams, the bad teams, will start with something like 60 or 70 top. And you can see your spec parts here, they always have a performance of 150. So they're pretty good. And everyone will have that same part. So, you know, we don't have to worry about those at least. Which is good, because we don't have a lot of money, and building a lot of parts is expensive. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on our suspensions, because they have the lowest reliability. If a part has low reliability, it's more likely to break on race day. And you don't want stuff to break during race day. There we go. Just flip these around because of their individual stats. They get a slightly higher boost to things, but still awful. Very awful. Next up, Headquarter Tab. This is where our team is located when we're not out and about traveling. This is basically just a random factory complex that we purchased. We can upgrade it, we can add more buildings at some point, you know. Eventually we might end up with like a staff center and a test track and a theme park, because, you know, we've got fans and they might want to come over here and go on our rides. I don't know. We don't have to worry about that for now though. What I will go ahead and do, immediately, we're going to start upgrading our factory. That's going to give us more part development staff and more improvement slots. We'll talk about those later. It's going to cost us 8 million out of the 26.5 million we have for the entire season, and it's going to take 20 weeks. But it's a long-term investment. I do plan to keep this series going for at least like 3 seasons in-game, because, you know, I want to have a bit of longevity. So getting this factory upgrade right away is going to make a huge difference. It will make further seasons so much easier. You have no idea. You'll see later though. It will be massive. Next up, we can check out the team. We've got Anthony Gomez. He is rated at 2.5 stars out of 5. So he's actually pretty alright. We've got Faith Anthony, rated at like 2.25. She's also a lot older and she's basically at her peak. We actually have a fan base of 0.7 million despite not having done anything. I think that's impressive. I think that deserves a round of applause. We also have our reserve driver, Enano Ferreira. He's pretty crap. We can click on him and see their specific stats. You can see how much he's getting paid per race, what his status is. Basically, status tells you like what he's expecting. If you're equal status, like he is now, you want to treat your drivers rather equally. You know, you don't want to give one a better car than the other, really, if you can avoid it. If you have a number 1 and number 2 driver, number 1 will expect to get the best car. Number 2 will expect to have a slightly worse car. But you know, if you have two number 2 drivers, which is possible, they'll both be happy. You know, it's a way to effectively game the system a little. You know, you did promise them a second status, and if you then make them equal, they'll love you for it. You can see his stats over here, they're not that good. You can see our little bonus that we add as well as ex-driver. So he's going to get a little bit better, but stats basically increase so slowly. Especially since he doesn't really have much potential anymore, which you can see by like outlined stars that are not filled in currently, which none of our people have. They all suck. But he's not bad, so we'll keep him around for now. It also costs a lot to break his contract, which kind of sucks. He's got a trait, Narcissist, which gives him more marketability, which is good. We'll talk more about that in a minute. His total marketability is 51%, which is very respectable. You can see his relation with his race mechanic, which will unlock some special, like, perks, basically. But we'll be firing our mechanic soon enough anyway, so that doesn't really matter now, does it? Faith Anthony, on the other hand, her stats, they're slightly more peaked out, but her stats have peaked. So we're not going to get much progression on her either. She sucks, basically. She's a nice girl. You know, it gets her people's morale up and whatnot. People like her more, but she's not very good. I might replace her immediately. And then finally, we've got a reserve driver. He's just bad. He doesn't cost much, though. He's also complacent. He doesn't have any focus. He doesn't have any morale. He doesn't have any improvability. He's crap. I'd get rid of him, but he's the cheapest one, and I'll probably be replacing Faith Anthony. It will cost us a large upfront fee, but it will save us money in the long run. Next up, staff. Lead designer. Building parts. Completely awful. Mechanic. Completely awful. Other mechanic. Completely awful. Though he does have a nice throw. I'm not going to keep him around just for his nice throw, though. We're going to go look at scouting. You can scout drivers, because you don't know how good drivers are right away. And you can build a scouting facility to get more slots. Basically. Right now, we're going to do something that... Falco Engelhardt over here. You get a rough estimation of his skills. He is really good. He is really quite good. He's also not employed with a team right now. I happen to know from my own, like, personal games, Falco is a pretty good driver for us to hire right now. So we're going to start negotiating with him. You can see our current drivers over here. We can do a stat comparison. We're going to offer you a number 2 driver spot. You will not be expecting priority. You will not expect to receive parts first and are prepared to accept you will not be prioritized by the team. Whereas the number 1 driver, of course, would expect to be the main driver. Equal status basically means, again, like I said, they will be treated the same. Reserve driver, just happy to be there. We don't know what he wants. We don't know his expectations because we haven't scouted him. But I have hired him prior, so I roughly know what he likes. I know he likes a long contract. He doesn't really care about wages that much, but he is a bit picky if you give him too little, because, you know, they do want to be paid what they're worth. He doesn't really care about position, and he doesn't care about the bonus terms either. But we're going to include them anyway, because it will make him happy. If he comes like in first, we'll give him a small monetary bonus. And we'll give him a bit of a signing fee to butter things over. There you go. That's a proposal sent to Falco. Hopefully we'll get him on board nice and soon. Now these staff are very cheap. They cost 1,000 per race and they basically have a rolling contract. We can get rid of them at any point and we don't have to pay a breaking contract fee. But they're also terrible. We're gonna scout a designer. And let us go find someone that might suit our needs. Preferably unemployed as well. So now we're looking to design a part for this team here. We're gonna look for someone who is really good at engine, gearbox, brakes, and suspension. And we don't care about front or rear wings. I'm actively pointing at my monitor even though I know you won't be able to see it. Because yeah, I can't look at that. If we go and like... Pretty sure she was around here somewhere. Katie Paulson, right here. A prime example of what I'm talking about. She is great with engines. She's good with gearbox. She's okay with brakes and suspension. And she's absolutely terrible at the front and rear wings. Those are spec parts. We don't care about those spec parts. We don't need to build them. So hiring Katie Paulson would focus tremendously on engine and gearbox, which are both very useful in making a good car. And basically the higher her bonus is, the better our parts will be, period. She's also got some known components over here. These will come into play when we're actually designing parts. And getting risk -1 and good components take no time to build can be really beneficial for us. So we're going to hire Katie Paulson over here. We're going to start talking with you. You think wages are fairly important? So we've got a scale here of like wages. Since you do prefer like you think they're fairly important, so we're going to give you a decent offer here with a long contract. And we'll give you a nice signing fee, I guess. You do want a bonus fee, so we'll offer you like 48. You know, you think it's quite important? I think this is a decent offer to make. You might like a bit more signing fee. We'll see. Oh crap! I did not mean to. I want to put out some more offers first. Scout a mechanic. We need to hire some people. Thankfully, you only need to scout drivers. Otherwise, this game would frankly get a little bit insane. Look at Gary Watson over here, for example. He's got terrible concentration, which is not great. His part fixing, we don't really care about. Preferably, we do not want a pit stop to fix parts. If we do, something has gone wrong. I'd rather get reliability up. So that doesn't matter that much. He's pretty good at pit stops. He's pretty good at reliability and performance. And he's got decent chemistry. Reliability and performance? We'll talk about that in a minute. Chemistry basically means how likable he is and how easy it is for him to start liking a driver. If they get along better, you know, they'll get more perks soon. And speaking of perks, at level 1, he will have something that makes tires wear out slower. At level 2, fast pit stops now have a -15% mistake chance. So that means we can do faster pit stops more reliably. I like that. Let's hire you. Wages are fairly important to you, so we'll try to take you down to there with a long contract, with a nice signing on fee. And we'll give you a bit of a bonus as well. If we do happen to make first, you know, you'll get like 48 grand, why not? Right, that's one mechanic. We need one more. And this time, I think we're actually going to steal someone. Yes, I spotted Mauricio Kurtz over here, who's got 15 reliability. Since Gary Watson has 15 performance, you'll want to have someone with a bit more reliability. And I don't really see anyone with very great reliability aside from Mauricio over there. He's also pretty decent at pit stops and concentration. Yeah, we can look all we want. Robert Morris over here, but he's terrible at everything except pit stops. Part fixes, rather. And I don't want anyone that's really good at part fixes, because part fixes, again, like I said, are not going to be part of our plan. Yeah, I think we're... you're not bad, Danny Cox. You're not employed either, but... part fixes. I'm gonna take a look and see if we can convince Mauricio Kurtz to try and join us. You can also see by these unfilled stars, they have quite a bit of potential. And we would be stealing you away from one of our competitors. Car condition drops slightly, so that might not be a bad one for the beginning of the next season. You've been employed with Octane Racing, one of our competitors. Let's approach you, buddy. Wages are fairly important to you. We can offer you like 43, so we'll offer you like 35. With a long contract. Now, he's in a contract already, so we're going to have to pay a buyout clause. Will we pay it all? Will we split it even, or will he pay it all? I think we can convince him to pay it all. If we could pull that off, that would be nice. And again, when we do finish first, we'll give you a bit of a bonus. There we go. We now have 5 contracts laid out. Other tabs of importance are finance, which basically tells us how we're doing. Now, one thing of note here is that we did start a custom team, so we got our chairman payments up front. Normally, you get them over a period of, you get them through the season. We've got a one-time payment in here of 10 million from starting our team, and then we've got 16.6 million that, normally we'd get that divided by 10 and then each race. But because we just started, they figure, might as well send you a big lump of money so that you can actually build some stuff, like the factory, like some car parts, so that you can get started. So we're going to have to be careful with that. We're going to have to keep a lot of money spare for that. We're not going to get much more money from this, except from sponsors. And here's where marketability comes into play. Both our drivers count and the team marketability. Because we started with the Stonewall Bank, we get 40% team marketability right off the bat, which is really good. That's going to be hard to get up. So, having that high is good. The marketability in total is 35%. It's basically all three just counted up and divided by 3. And that depends what kind of sponsor appeal you can get. Higher level sponsors pay more money. It's that simple. If you're at 35 to 55, you'll be able to get level 2. If you get 55 to 65, that sort of region, you get level 3. If you're around 80, you get level 4. And then you need to build a building to get level 5, but we don't have to worry about that for now. That team marketability is going to come in useful. Now we're going to start advancing some time, finally. And we'll see on the calendar here, we've got our contract proposals coming in. Gary Watson wants to renegotiate. And we've got some people rumoring whether they'll retire or not. So he's not entirely happy. He wants a bit more money. I will take a small bite out of your signing on fee then. Because, we are haggling here. You do want a bit more money total, so we'll take a bit more a bit away from up front. Katie Paulson is happy with the offer that we made. Neutral about the wages, neutral about the signing on fee, but happy with the length of the contract and the racing bonus. So we got ourselves a part designer. Beautiful. We're gonna have to pay a slight fee, but there we go. We now have someone that can actually make parts for us. Excellent. You are happy. You've already put on a shirt. Excellent. You're gonna do press stuff. Oh, we got a new designer. Yes, we did. And then we've got a interview request with the World Sports Network. I'm gonna accept that. Question 1 of 4. Well, you've certainly picked a tough task for your first job. You're expecting to pick up many points at all this season. I'm quietly confident that we'll make a few... No, that would probably make our drivers happy. Not promising too much. But I want to hype people. We're going to surprise a few people this year, mark my words. Points are definitely on the cards. So they lose a bit of morale, because they're going to feel a bit pressured. But our chairman is happy. Now, I'm planning to get rid of Faith Anthony, so this is a bit gamey. But I'm going to tell them, because, they're asking, Andre Gomez is seen as your top driver. Do you agree with that? Yes, I do. He's going to feel happy. She's mad. In the World Sports Network season overview, I wrote that you're expected to finish 10th. Is that accurate, or do you think you can do any better? Oh, I'll promise you, we'll do better. Andre and our chairman quite like that. And last but not least, we all remember your time as a fan-favourite racer a few years back. But will you be able to transfer your skills to the management game? This is a question that ties into your background. There's a couple different questions, you can get different bonuses. We're gonna tell them, we could go all about how the ins and outs of what a racing driver needs in a car. We could talk about the fans, but we're gonna be, hey, in racing, pressure comes at 200 miles per hour. This should be a cakewalk. Chairman's not really happy with that, because you make it sound really easy, But on the other hand, the press love it. We just got 10% extra marketability to get those bigger sponsors. That immediately took us up by 4% extra marketability, which will make a difference at some point. Let's continue, shall we? Ooh. Falco accepted the offer as well. Good. He was delighted by the number 2 status. He was alright with the wages. He liked the contract length, and he liked the fact that he got a small signing on fee and a small race bonus. We're signing him. And we're going to get rid of Faith Anthony. It's going to cost us $1 million to break that contract. But, you know, we'll get that cost out in... well, never, frankly. He's going to be a lot more expensive. You could be saying, why are you not getting rid of Anana Ferreira? Here's the thing. He's promised to be reserve. He's contracted to be reserve. And he will be my reserve if anything goes wrong. Faith Anthony has a 10-month contract as equal status. She's promised to be a main driver. If we hire Falco and fire our reserve driver, and demote Faith Anthony to be a reserve driver, she can actually basically sue us for not fulfilling our part of the contract. So we're just gonna kick her out. Goodbye. Don't cause me any trouble, you know? Now we have a 3.25 star driver with a bit of potential left as well. Which is going to be insane. We'll still have a terrible car, mind you. But it's not going to be the driver that's holding the car back. Now that we actually have hired Falco, we can see his specific stats. He's got braking 10, corner 14, smoothness 17. He's basically better in every single way than Faith. Every single way. That's just it. Marketability of 96%. He's got a trait, successful designer, remaining for 19 weeks. Gets him 40 extra marketability, which is amazing. He's aggressive, gets +2 overtaking, and he is selfless. Doesn't mind when he's not given any newly designed parts. And his morale is great. He just signed a contract. He's feeling great. So, you know, we picked up a really good guy. We got some mail. Faith Anthony, what the hell? You've terminated my contract? This is a joke. An absolute joke. I thought you were making an investment in me as a driver. Now you just throw me away like garbage. But yeah, look at those stats. Your morale is just... I'm going to compare you against Falco here. So we've got Faith on the left, Falco on the right. You're a nice girl. He's aggressive. Thankfully only on the pit. You know, not on the actual interview table. He's a successful designer. Are you a successful designer, Faith? No, you're not. Your marketability is also crap. He's also selfless. See? You know. And now we're going to look at the stats. You're better at braking. You're way better at quartering. Just out of the park with smoothness. The only thing Faith is actually better with is overtaking by 1 point. Consistency is equal. Adaptability is higher on Falco. Fitness is higher on Falco, and just feedback is just out of the league as well. And focus, yeah. Sorry, Faith. You out. You done. I could approach you, but you're never going to be happy with me ever again. Goodbye. Contract signed. Falco's happy. Woohoo! Great to join you here at Derpdigital Racing. I'm really looking forward to my first race. It'll be an absolute honor to be driving for Derpdigital Racing. Signed by Falco. And we sign Engelhardt. The deal is estimated to be worth 5.11111 million. Yeah. He's an untested rookie. He's pretty freaking good for an untested rookie, you know? Give the man some credit. So now, let's take a look at the drivers again. We are ranked second. We are ranked second for best drivers right now. Wow. And all we did was hire someone else. And look at our marketability. It's 65%. Sponsors. We can now get level 3 sponsor appeal. Pretty good stuff. Now, we've got our next race coming up in 9 days. We're going to start designing a part here by clicking Design New Part. We can design a part, you know, it all takes a lot of time, We can get brakes done, but they will have, well, one, terrible performance, because we don't know how to build parts yet. And because we start with such low parts, it's going to take long to improve them. But as the seasons go on, we will get better at that. You know, we could add deceleration 20. We'd be getting a better part. You only seem to give the bonus once instead of twice. That's annoying. Oh well. There's also a cost for each component part. And of course, we do need to build one average component so that we can make a good component. And then we need to make one good component to make a great component, that sort of thing, and it gets better. And then you need buildings eventually so you could build better parts. Yeah, not great. But as you go, you unlock more slots. If we build an average part, we then have 2 slots. So we could build an average and a good part, or rather use an average perk and a good perk, or we could use 2 green perks. But anyway, we're not going to build brakes right now, because while we could, reliability would be 40%. These brakes will break during that race, and it will cost us. So we're not going to design for the Black Race GP, which is in 9 days. We're going to be designing a part for Munich. And we can see here at the track guide what is going to be important. That's acceleration, low speed corners, which are spec parts, we don't worry about that, and medium speed corners over here, which we're kind of terrible at. So we're going to build ourselves a gearbox, I think, although engines are also really important in this game. So I think we might actually start out by building an engine, and we are the best at building engines. You know, you've got the biggest bonus to that, plus 17. Now here we have an interesting component. We get a plus 25 to max top speed, with a plus 15 immediately. So we've got a lot of room to improve the part in our factory, and we get a lot of instant benefit as well. But we do have a risk of rule break. This is an illegal part. Illegal part is bad. Of course. You know, you don't want to get caught. They'll take the part away, you'll be paying a fine. It's not good. It's not good at all. I don't think I have to tell you that. So we're not going to do that. Because the first time I built an illegal part, it took 2 races to get figured out, like, oh yeah, this guy's cheating. And you just get screwed massively. We can't afford to have parts taken away from us this early. So we're going to go with a plus 20 top speed, which will give us a better engine at least. But it will take some time, and it is very expensive. Engines are very expensive, sadly. But we do need decent engines. So we're going to start work on that right away. And now, we're just going to make sure that we have everyone working over here as well. We could improve our suspensions a little bit. I think we're going to work on... yeah, we'll work on the suspensions a little bit. I've currently got all the staff assigned to reliability here, because reliability is just that more important. Because, you know, if stuff breaks during the race, it's going to cost you more points than a tiny bit of performance increase ever will. Even if all our staff are working on reliability, the chief mechanic we assign, which is where the performance and reliability stats come in, will give a tiny bit of a bonus. So Johnny Eastwood over here will give 0.02 performance every day, split over all these parts. And the higher our factory is, you know, if we get factory 2, we will get 2 slots over here and 2 slots over here. So we can work on 4 parts for performance and 4 for reliability. Of course, we'll also have more staff to work, so we could give more stuff to more parts. Or work on just the same amount of parts with more speed, which is all really good. Yeah, I think we're going to work on you for a little bit more. You know, want to get these suspensions a little bit higher, and then I'll probably shift to the gearbox, because their reliability is now officially the lowest. We'll continue and we'll check out the contract proposals. Is someone retiring? We get a report on the upcoming race. This will be important. We'll keep that in mind. We'll need to read that again as the race comes ahead. Mauricio's not entirely happy with this. He wants more wages. We'll up this a little bit. And then we'll probably get him to pay his own buyout clause. That should be enough. Now they also have a patience bar. If you insult them with a very low offer, they won't have much patience with you. And the patience basically means how often can I renegotiate with someone. Hopefully they'll get back to me before the race starts so that we have a better mechanic. And now we're going to talk about sponsors here. We have 2 offers currently. The Golden Tiger Bank. If we come in 13th or above, which is, 13 out of 20, because there's 10 teams with 2 drivers. If one of our drivers finishes 13th or above, we get a bonus payment of 200,000 euros in that race, which is good. And seeing how we have a terrible car, that might be something we might be able to reach. And we'll also get an upfront payment of 900,000 euros. So that's one way to make money. The left 3 sponsor slots over here are all race bonus sponsors, which basically mean they pay money depending on where you finish in the race. For example, Sangju over here, if we finish 2nd or above, so 2nd or 1st, we get 1 million euros. But that's a terrible deal. We're never gonna finish first. So, if we're looking at Sangju's offer, for example, for this slot, this is always going to be a target position 2nd or above. So we're just going to be looking for a high upfront payment here, so that we can get paid. Because we're never going to finish first. And we're still going to want to have a sponsor there. So if someone pays a nice amount of money up front, I'll take that deal. Now these guys offer for 5th or above, 800,000. That's not something we're going to ever reliably reach. On the right side here, fixed payment sponsors. These guys offer to pay 1 million euros up front, which is not a lot. That's 100,000 per race on average. It's pretty low. You could be doing better. We've got Falco with a high marketability, and Andre and our team marketing are currently balanced as well, so that's good. We're going to speed time up a bit further. We get 3 more offers. We get another offer over here. We get 900,000 if we finish 4th or above, which is again not something we're ever going to reach. We've got an offer over here as well. You offer to pay 150k per race, no matter what, for 6 races. That's not bad, although this would technically be more, but not as long. We're gonna wait for more offers, basically. And it's still... oh, there we go. You offer to pay me 300,000 for 13 races. That translates to 3.9 million. That's a good deal. That's reliable income. That's going to help soften the blow of our finances right now, because we're losing 1.6 million per race. Wages. They're expensive. Speaking of wages, Katie Paulson is bugging us about a telemetry center. If we go to look at a telemetry center, that would cost us... we can't even build that right now, I don't think. No. It's locked. And we can't even build it yet, so, yeah. And it's also very expensive. It's like 5 million or something like that. How do you think we're gonna afford that? Gary's happy with the deal, though. We can sign him. He's not very happy, but he will bite. Now we'll get you to replace Johnny Eastwood. That's gonna cost us a bit of money for the upfront signing fee. And we just spent more on wages. You're going to be working for Falco, which is good, because I want Falco to be able to make fast pit stops. Let me get some more mail. Hi, brilliant to have joined you here, that's good. We signed a new mechanic, that's great, yeah. So now we need one more mechanic to bite. That's our last offer that we have. He should be happy with it, and our finances are terrible. Oh dear, this is gonna cut it close. We are gonna travel to the Black Sea first. Oh no, we don't get our mechanic. He's gonna join us later today. We do get 4 more sponsors though. You actually pay up front, only slightly though. You pay up front as well for 3 races only. and you pay us 300,000. So mid-season we will be able to take a new sponsor here in the slot with more upfront payment. I'll take it, because we can run you down quickly. These guys offer to pay a total of 1.1 million, split out over 6 races, 500,000 up front, and then 100,000 as we go. That's not a terrible deal. You know, it's more than these guys are willing to pay. That's 900,000. Whereas you pay 200k more. So yeah, we're gonna take you up on the offer. Thank you for the money. These guys offer to pay 4 million up front for 12 races. Yeah, that's a deal. That's one of the best offers you can get in that slot for 3 stars. So that's 4 extra million in the bank. And I think we're going to take you up on the offer as well. So that softened our financial struggles by a fair bit. We now have 8 million to really haggle with. We can later on ask our chairman for more money, but that's kind of early right now. But yeah, we are about to set off to the Black Sea. It's probably gonna rain. We'll have to go and read the report on the upcoming race here fairly carefully. 30 lap race, 40% chance of rain, high speed circuit, so you know it tells you what tires are chosen, it tells you what benefits it, you know. Strong engines, we don't have strong engines. We don't have any engines at all, almost. But this is where we'll be signing off for today. Next episode, we're going to be racing at the Black Sea Grand Prix. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, the setup and the explanations of things, do leave a like down below and perhaps a comment as well. It's really important with a new series like Motorsport Manager. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what this series might bring. You know, make bets on how terrible I'm going to do, because it's going to be bad. We have a bad car, but good people in those cars. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Now we'll catch you all next time. Until then, have a good one, folks.